Escriben Britney Spears. La señorita Line y el señor Jamie.
Jamie and Lynn's a lot for Britney. They put their needs on the back seat so that they could promote Britney.
Her mom was a good, supportive mother, the kind of parent that's behind the child saying, good job, honey.
You have to be positive with Britney because Britney's hard enough on herself. And when something goes wrong, you've got to pump Britney up.
She just kept telling her, Britney, you're the best.
Lynn would need to be home with Jamie Lynn. And so Jamie, Britney's daddy, would take her to different fairs or festivals. Britney pretty much had him wrapped around her finger, and anything Britney wanted, he would move mountains to achieve.
You know, it wasn't like they were wanting her to do it. She was wanting to do it herself.
Whether she was performing at the Peach Festival or the Alligator Festival or in a major talent competition, the drive was within the child.
Britney performed at the fairs and the fashion shows because it was just great experience. That's where you develop your, your stage presence.
She was always trying out for different stuff, commercials, different things.
Here in the South, we use technology to make our lives easier.
Agency directors and casting directors and anybody that came in contact with Britney was totally blown away. If you asked her for 100%, she gave like 120%.
A fire's a fire, a grill's a grill. What makes that mean a culinary thrill?
El grupo de cinco.
The five-pack was Britney, me, Maria, Jennifer, and Erin, her cousin. We danced together in a small group, and we were very close friends.
We would teach the choreography, and they would have to rehearse.
Kick it.
And say we'd do it 15 times, and the other kids would be like, oh, we tired, Miss Thorny, we tired. And Britney would be like, come on, let's just do it one more time. Let's just do it one more time.
I remember her sweating to death in a dance class, just working from the time it started till the time it ended. She never gave up.
They won first overall champions at nationals out of every small group in the junior division. They won the whole thing.
She was always the one that pushed us. She was always the one that kept us going. She loved to work. She was a workaholic. She wanted everything to be perfect, and she wanted everything to be just to the point where there were no mistakes in it.
El negocio de Britney.
One time we went to a talent competition out of town, and at that time, Jamie and Lynn were having it so hard they couldn't even afford the hotel. It was like, I think, a $39, $49 room, and they drove all the way back to Kenwood that night with Britney.
I remember she won the competition, and she won $1,000.
It was kind of like a business. A lot of it was on the weekends, whenever they could, because Jamie had to work. Lynn, raised the children. They were constantly talking to agents and trying to get her jobs and auditions and bookings.
There was a time when her mother called me up and said, Britney seems like she might be getting a little bit tired of this. And so her mother was kind of seeking some advice, and I told her mother, well, maybe let's step back a little bit, give her a little bit of rest, maybe not take her to every fair and every fashion show. Let's step back a little bit.
She would be very cautious, like, Britney, are you sure this is what you want to do? Think about it. Think it through.
She felt, I think, a little bit maybe overwhelmed.
The advice I gave Lynn in helping direct Britney was put a lot of prayer into it, and the Lord will lead you.
Si puedo llegar hasta allá.
She'd come to New York several times to visit and stay with my mom and I while she was auditioning. We were just living off our bootstrings. Britney and her mom were in a bit of culture shock.
Very tough to come to a new city, especially from the South.
It was like she was in a foreign country. She missed home.
They lived in the littlest apartment.
In New York, you move or you're run over,
It was hard to adjust to that and realize that there is another world outside the Southern bubble.
They made immense sacrifices, for a woman to leave her husband and take her child away from her brothers and sisters and friends to New York City just to give them an opportunity. That doesn't really happen.
I couldn't have my family all together. And it was really hard, so I battled guilt.
Britney would drag her mom to ballet classes and tap classes and whatever she needed. You know, she didn't play after school. She was excited to go to class. And there were times when she really didn't get along with certain kids because Britney didn't understand why they didn't have a drive. Why they were okay with, oh, yeah, you're okay with being a chorus boy? I'm okay. Not me.
Implacable determinación.
Nancy called and said, there's a part I really think Britney would do well in. I think she would love this. And it was an incredible part.
I first met Britney after she'd been cast as my understudy in Ruthless.
We were very excited when she got it because it was kind of her first big thing.
Natalie Portman and Britney Spears were understudies, so not too bad.
She did it like 2 weeks straight.
I just remember seeing her glow after the show. She would be excited and jumping up and down backstage.
I remember hugging her afterwards and just saying, oh, you were just so wonderful, you were so wonderful. She was so pleased with herself.
It was Christmas Eve, and she decided that she didn't want to be in New York anymore because she didn't want to have to work on Christmas.
I was feeling so bad because she was supposed to do it while Laura went home. For Christmas, we'd have been working Christmas Day. One of us said to the other, well, do you want to go home? And then I said, honestly, honey, we ran to the phone. We called Nancy. Nancy, we're going home. We want to quit the show. We're tired.
It's hard when a family is separated, so I think that it was just time to go home.
So on Christmas Eve, they quit, and they headed home.
A continuación, el trabajo que Britney soñó llega a su fin.
We were all very sad when the show got canceled. You know, it was like, what do we do next? Zero soon.
Luego, de regreso a casa, encuentra a su primer amor.
Took her to prom, only prom she ever got taken to.
They made everybody just be like, "Don't make me sick."
Y después, su creatividad hace historia en los videos musicales.
And Britney says, I should be wearing a schoolgirl's outfit. And I'm thinking, well, that's going to cause a few eyebrows to be